Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Mark.
And this is the Dark Ballcast. This week, proudly sponsored by Michael's Pretend Mopeds.
Meow.
Podcast time.
Yeah, boy. How you doing?
Yeah.
You are alive.
We talked about this last week, didn't we? About how to...
So how you
small
been?
talk or something.
How you been?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I've been all right.
Good. I have momentous news.
Yeah?
Right? Something happened today for the first time in my life, my 32 years.
Right.
Right? Today, because it was busy at work, my work asked if people would work through their lunch, and as a thank you, obviously would pay them, but would also buy them lunch.
Ooh.
I was like, yeah, that's a very nice offer. I'll take you up on that. But a few days ago, me and Sophie had a chat about the fact that I am grossly overweight.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And she was like, right, we need to do something because we're unhappy. Let's start a diet. Or at least just start calorie counting and make some progress. You know, let's try. So I was looking at the menu from where we were ordering from today, and do you know what I ordered?
Go on.
Salad.
Ah. Was it bad?
It was lovely.
It was lovely.
It was a chicken and pesto salad from Delicious, and it was bloody lovely.
Fucking shit.
I'm not sure it was the healthiest salad. Because it was croutons and pesto.
It was an attempt.
Start.
It was.
It had peppers in it, roast peppers and leaves of some origin.
Right.
But
Do you class salad?
I didn't buy. I ordered and consumed a salad. It had cheese in it, but you know what I mean? I tried. I did it.
Mate, the more you say it, it's not a salad.
It's the first salad I've ever ordered and eaten.
Right. And
It's an achievement.
Will it be the last?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The thing is, the problem is I just don't like salad stuff. I don't like cucumber, tomato, or anything. No one likes lettuce. I don't care what anyone says. No one likes lettuce. All right. All it is a platform for other food. It's an edible plate. Yeah. That's all it is.
It's an edible plate. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Do you class salad as vegetables though? Because you quite famously hate vegetables.
I mean,
everyone who looks at you goes, "Now that's a man who we all know hates vegetables."
Are you saying that I'm fat?
No, I'm saying it's just common knowledge.
I mean,
just like you're scared of beans.
I'm not scared of beans. I class a salad as an amount of lettuce with some other ingredients thrown into it.
With bits, yeah.
Basically, a collection of uncooked vegetables.
You know, like...
Basically. And it's a disgrace.
What the fuck are croutons?
Toast cubes. I was thinking about toast the other day.
Right, okay.
Thinking about toast the other day, right? Imagine you're the first person in human history to make bread.
Right, yeah.
And you've decided there's a great point to stop baking the dough until it has become bread. Yeah. And you think, I have made this new thing. It is bread. It is now the staple of the entire world's diet.
Yeah.
And then someone else got hold of it and thought, this could be cooked more.
Yeah, we'll cook it.
I wonder what happens when we apply more heat to this already perfectly cooked thing.
Do you know what I think is underspoken about as well? The settings on the toaster, why they're not rare, medium rare. Why does steak get that, but toast doesn't?
I think we should rebrand bread as well as raw toast.
It's carb meat, isn't it?
If you eat bread, you're going, toast tartar.
Yeah.
Right. So a question popped into my head the other day.
What, then it wasn't to do with the bread?
No, this was after bread. This is after my bread musings. Okay. So I was in the car. So if I was driving on pick one of the kids up from school or some shit. And I was looking at my hands.
Right.
And I just want people to know that I do not smoke weed. Right. So all of this is from a brain untouched by drugs.
Yeah. Just unhinged.
Yeah. I was looking at my hands and I asked Sophie this and she had no idea what I was talking about. So I thought I'll save it for you because you'll, you know what I mean? So I was looking at look at your fingernails, right?
Yeah.
Now, they obviously exit your skin at a certain point, don't they?
Yeah.
And then grow down to the tips of your fingers.
Yeah.
Why is that the point at which your nail exits the skin? Why is it not further up your finger?
I suppose it's like...
Why is it not all the way up your arm?
I suppose they're like finger fringes, aren't they?
Yeah.
You don't want like... Because otherwise, mate, we'd be scaly. That's all it is. It's
Exactly.
just-
So why is it just there? Why doesn't the nail start up at the knuckle or something?
But while we're on the topic of hands as well, evolution-wise, wouldn't it have just been better if our fingers could
Evolution, never heard of it.
It'd be better if our fingers could go both ways. Because imagine you could hold like a mug one way, and then you could hold like something else on the other side of your hand.
I'd like my fingers to be tentacles. Little tentacles.
And this is it. What?
With little suckers on them.
Mate, that'd be so fucking creepy.
Why can Spider-Man stick to walls through his gloves? And his shoes?
Velcro.
So he's got the power to stick to walls because he's got the radioactive spider powers.
And he just
But he puts a suit on and thinks, oh no, it don't work through the suit. Bit of Velcro though.
Velcro.
Sort that right out.
He'd prepared.
He did.
Right. He decided right at the start of becoming Spider-Man exactly which buildings he was going to have to climb and what people... and...
But for all New York going, no, I can't see myself needing to climb this one.
Yeah, he did a survey.
He definitely left
as
out
he
the
was
Twin
swinging
Towers.
around. He did a survey mentally, took it all in because Spider Brain.
Spider brain.
Yeah,
Spider brain.
He just knew which buildings he wanted to climb, so he got the hook side of the tape on his hands and feet, and he went round to all the buildings he knew he'd want to climb.
Yeah,
and taped it with loop.
And he has the hook.
Yeah. You ever seen him like fall in one of the films? Has he ever fallen? Has he fallen off a building because he didn't stick right? Because because he'd accidentally put hooks on that building instead of loops.
Or he put his loop gloves on that day.
Yeah.
But
one inside out.
And then as he's fallen, he's like, why did I make these?
Yeah. Why didn't I just decide not to wear gloves?
Oh,
because that would solve the whole problem.
So I was thinking the other day that I think I've come up with sort of some sort of proof that God doesn't exist.
Shit.
Yeah, because he would technically, by definition, be the most famous person ever, wouldn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
And famous people cannot stop. Look, they can't keep their mouths shut, can they?
No.
They can't have a thought that they don't express verbally or on social media or in an interview.
Right.
So unfortunately, God wouldn't be able to keep his fucking mouth shut if he was real, would he? If I was God, I'd be on Twitter all the fucking time.
I mean, we're sat here, two very non-famous people who every other week spout out a bunch of shit and post it online. Now, if you were a god, I think it'd be twice daily, wouldn't it?
Abso-fucking-lutely. And just to sort of back up my point, I found some examples of some celebrities who just haven't been able to keep their fucking mouths shut and who have spouted some of the stupidest sentences you'll ever hear in your life.
Go.
So the first gentleman is called Carl Everett. He's not a celebrity to us because we're British, but he's an American sportsman.
Okay.
Here's something that he said. God created the sun, the stars, the heavens, and the earth, and then made Adam and Eve. The Bible never says anything about dinosaurs. You can't say there were dinosaurs when you never saw them. somebody actually saw Adam and Eve eating apples.
Wait.
No one ever saw a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Eating apples. As if that's the bit that's being disputed. Like, I don't think they were eating apples, actually. It might have been pears.
So, I mean...
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
I mean, right, who saw Adam and Eve then?
Yeah, like...
Where's the eyewitness account?
He's acting like we've got a photo. Like, oh yeah, someone saw him. It was the room next door to where they were shooting the moon landings.
One of them scratchy photos, you know, when you've tried to get a photo with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He's just two naked.
It's just Adam and Eve just walking with their arms swinging towards a big apple. Like the classic Bigfoot photo.
Next one, we got Shaquille O'Neal. You know who that is, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Shaquille. So a reporter asked him, did you visit the Parthenon during your trip to Greece?
Mark, what's a Parthenon?
It's a very famous Greek national heritage site.
Oh, I was thinking it was a fruit like persimmons.
Persimmon, for fuck's sake. Well, you're just a bit like Shaquille, aren't you? Shaquille O'Neal replied, I can't really remember the names of the clubs we went to. Keep your mouth shut, Shaquille. if you you know.
Shaquille.
I prefer it to Shaquille.
Shaquille.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a nice ring to it.
Kenny West.
All right.
Famous hippity hop artist.
Yeah.
I actually don't like thinking. I think people think I like to think a lot, and I don't. I do not like to think at all.
We can tell.
For someone who doesn't like to think a lot, he used that word an awful lot during that sentence.
I mean, I wonder if that was his point, but does anyone care?
Do you know what? I hate the man. I genuinely wish for his death.
Why?
Because
Mark?
he's just pathetic, isn't he?
Just let him live his life.
No, because it affects mine. Because he's just always cracking on about how amazing he is.
Yeah.
And like at one point where he was on stage at Glastonbury and he said that he was the greatest living rock star of all time. What now? Sorry? The what? The greatest living rock star of all time? Fucking, I've picked bits of crust off my bollocks that are better rock stars than you.
Good God.
And then there was the time where he had a go at someone in his audience for not standing up during a song, and they were in a fucking wheelchair.
Shit. How inconsiderate.
Britney Spears next.
Right. Okay, we can't do this to Britney. She's
I'm
been
sorry,
through a lot.
She has, but there's no excuse for this.
Oh, okay.
I've never really wanted to go to Japan simply because I don't like eating fish. And I know that's very popular out there in Africa.
It's like she started...
I kind of thinking that maybe she should be still under that conservatorship.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. She's like, oh yeah. She's just assuming that she goes to Japan and they're going to make her eat fish. Like there's nothing else available. Like there will be fish at every turn. She won't be able to escape the vastness of the amount of fish that there is there. And then she's gone, oh, actually, Africa. Just changed her mind.
Where there's no fish.
Yeah, there's no fish there.
There's no fish. There's not once been a fish in Africa. Paris Hilton.
Oh, okay. Yep. What did Paris Hilton do?
Fucking
like,
loads
because
of
everyone
cock.
knows who she is, but what?
She's the heiress to the Hilton fortune, isn't she? That's all she's famous for. And then, so basically, she's one of these society bitches, isn't she? So she's really rich and that. So
she's rich for being rich.
Yeah, she just goes out and parties, and then she just got famous for being a whore, basically.
Oh God, that's got to be one of the more fun ways to get famous.
Yeah, probably. And then this is something she said. No, I didn't go to England. I went to London.
Moving on.
Yep.
Let's say no more on that one.
Jaden Smith.
Oh yeah.
Keep my mama's name out your fucking mouth. Jaden Smith said, if everyone in the world dropped out of school we would have a much more intelligent society.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's how it works.
School's not right for everyone, okay?
Yeah.
Some people learn in different ways, and some people may benefit from not going to school. If everyone in the world dropped out of school,
I think, the problem
there'd be
is...
lots of stupid people.
The problem is, if school didn't exist, let's say, who the hell would bother just in their spare time to learn basic maths and English?
Exactly.
The reason school exists is it gives you the little bit of knowledge that you need to kind of make informed, useful decisions and to be able to actually understand the world around you. Like if you can't, you're going to struggle to get on basically if you can't read, write, speak, do maths.
Unfortunately, he's just another one of these people who's sort of someone famous, isn't he?
Yeah, they've not really had to think about it.
Yeah, and then he started like starring in films himself, and everyone's gone, "Oh, Jaden Smith's in that," and no one's really sort of cottoned on to the fact yet that he's a terrible actor.
I've not seen anything with him in.
I've seen clips, and it's just, oh god, it's terrible.
Oh no.
Jessica Simpson next. Is this chicken or is this fish? I know it's tuna, but it says chicken of the sea.
Written from Japan, capital of Africa.
Japan, capital of Africa. Where the fish feeding is. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh my god.
Oh. Brooke Shields.
What was she in again? What did she do?
I don't know, actor.
Yeah, all right.
Smoking kills. If you're killed, you've lost an important part of your life.
Do you want to tell her? Or should I? You've lost, all of it.
Which, in her defence,
it probably
is a very important part.
Some would say it's the most important part.
Yeah. Justin Bieber.
Okay.
When asked what political party he'd support if he was old enough to vote, Bieber responded, "I'm not sure about the parties, but whatever they have in Korea, that's bad."
You know what, though? I'd love to argue with him, but he's fully right.
He is correct.
Well,
I know nothing about the political parties of our country, but I know that Korea's bad.
Yeah, so I'll not vote for that.
Yeah.
Like he was ever having a say in it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
I'm going to do the accent as well.
Oh, no.
So, asked whether he supported gay marriage, Arnold supported, "No, I think gay marriage is something that should be between a man and a woman." Get to the japper.
And that's the line they took out of that film, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Oh, man. And yet he was like governor of California, wasn't he? For a while.
He was.
Jeez.
I know. Mike Tyson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ear biter.
Yep.
I guess I'm going to fade into Bolivian.
Bolivia?
Now, the letters are there, aren't they? They're not in the right order, are they, Mike?
Bolivian?
I don't know if he's trying to tell us that he's worried about fading away or if he's moving to Bolivia.
Yeah, he's going to fade into a Bolivian.
The Dalai Lama, great spiritual leader.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if a female Dalai Lama come, then she must be very attractive. Otherwise, not much use. I know.
Sexism at its finest, eh?
I know. Sienna Miller. I assume she's talking about cigarettes here. I love them. Love them. I think the more positive approach you have to smoking, the less harmful it is.
Because that's definitely how it works.
I wonder if that counts for all things that are killing you. So if someone's like repeatedly stabbing you, if you just stand there going, "This is great. I love this." Every single stab is brilliant. You can't die from it. Kim Kardashian, when she's been asked about her 72-day marriage to Chris Humphries, this is what she said. "I spoke to a girl today who had cancer, And we were talking about how this is such a hard thing for her, but it taught her a big lesson on who her friends are and so much about life. She's 18, and I was like, that's how I feel. She
wait, what?
She got cancer.
You can't just be like, oh yeah, same at stuff like that, can you? Like when you're just like rich, and they, actually got cancer, and you're just like,
same,
yeah, same, fam.
Yeah, I know you've got cancer, but I know how you feel. Me and my husband split up. So, Kelly Osbourne, daughter of the Osman. So I think when she was trying to say this, she was trying to come across as, very for the people. Yeah. She's fighting for people's rights. If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who's going to clean your toilets, Donald Trump?
Oh, no. No. And that must have been fairly recent.
I know. Oh,
fucking hell.
This is a good one. American politician called Mitt Romney.
Okay.
I believe in an America where millions of Americans believe in an America that's the America millions of Americans believe in. That's the America I love.
Was he fucking pissed?
Do you know what? I'm really impressed with how well I pulled that off.
As you were saying,
I thought I was going to trip up there.
I thought either you or me were stroking out. Like I wasn't sure if I'd just time lapsed.
He's stroking out. Or Dan Quayle, another American. I think he's a politician, maybe.
Why are you making a point of saying that they're all American?
No, it's just that this guy, the photo of this guy, has got an American flag behind him. And because
that's a very American photo.
It is. I think it's because me and you are British. So maybe
we wouldn't know who they are.
Yeah, he's not a household name.
I know what you're doing. You're pandering to our newfound American audience, aren't you?
Nope.
Yeah, yes you are.
So this man said, it's time for the human race to enter the solar system.
Just like it's been outside of it the whole time.
And have you found a different one?
Yeah, we've existed elsewhere, have we?
Right. Madonna. Listen, everyone is entitled to my opinion. What?
Now,
are we what?
That perfectly sums up this entire segment, doesn't it? Your entire point about God.
So we'll leave it for there. I think there's plenty of examples of stupidity. I think that's why God can't exist, because he wouldn't be able to stop himself saying stupid shit on the internet, would he? No. So, completely unrelated. Bit of a change of topic. Mm-hmm. You've been watching the Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix.
Seen it. All probably other than about the last 10 minutes because I fell asleep.
Right, okay. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we can probably agree that Jeffrey Dahmer, bit of a bad apple.
He's a very naughty man.
Very naughty man. So, got me thinking. Last couple of episodes, obviously he's in jail, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's sort of turning into a celebrity and he's loving it. And then what happens? Bitch get baptized.
And
he's like, do you know what? I found Jesus.
Yeah.
I've turned back to God. I've been baptized and all my sins have been washed away. But he ate people.
Do you think just by like default they get baptized too?
What the? No, because I'm sure he shut them out by that point.
But
I was thinking, there's a scene, isn't there, where after he's been beaten to death and his dad goes to look at the body, right? And there's a nurse and a reverend in the room, and obviously it's quite a solemn scene. It's dead quiet, and the dad's he's crying, he's saying, I'll love you till my last breath," and all this. Yeah. Said to Sophie, like, wouldn't it be funny if the reverend go, he ate people, right?
Yeah, like
just make it. He killed and
fuck me.
You're aware? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
you carry on.
I think it's one of those things where you're watching it and you're thinking, you almost feel sorry for him, and then you go,
oh no, yeah, absolutely.
But he did a rape. He did lots of rape.
He did lots of bad stuff. Like, for the childhood bits, I was sat there thinking, I feel really sad for this man. And then I remember, but he did used to drill holes into people's heads and pour acid into them.
Yeah.
Now, that is a very nasty thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brutal.
And he also used to drill holes into people's heads and pour boiling water, all while they're alive.
Yeah.
And pour boiling water in them in an attempt to make them into a zombie. Sort of like a home brew lobotomy.
Right, yeah.
Right. And then obviously he used to cut people up and dissolve them, and he was trying to keep the skulls so he could make an altar. And he made altars to Satan and that kind of stuff. He ate people, obviously, and all this kind of stuff. I think we can agree the man did some despicable, horrendous things.
Yeah, he did some bad stuff.
But because he was baptised, according to the Christians, everything's fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
So it got me thinking about, how does baptism work? Because you can't be gay and be Christian, can you?
No. Well, just get baptised.
Exactly. It washes the gay away, doesn't it? So, I mean, how can someone like Jeffrey Dahmer be baptised and everything's fine, according to Christianity? Surely nothing can wash away what that man did. And it got me sort of looking around the internet, looking at sort of various Christian websites and sort of, you know, because it really bothers me. It really bothers me about how Christians preach sort of forgiveness and all this kind of stuff. But how can you accept that man into that religion that's supposed to be about peace and forgiveness?
Well, I think baptism, now I'm just speculating here, this isn't done from any research, but so say you murder someone, right? You're going to have blood all over your hands, aren't you?
Quite a lot.
You're going to go and wash it off. But that normal water that hasn't been blessed by a man in a robe,
normal water,
it will not wash away the blood that is covering your soul's hands.
That's son's hands. Do you reckon sun water would do it? Now,
do you think that's what it is? It's like, oh yeah, your sins are, all the evidence of your sins is still covering your soul. Quick, wash it off. Quick.
Before God sees.
And that's why the last time I was baptised, I asked them to put a little bit of bicarbonate of soda into the water. So it was a slightly fizzy baptism.
Fizzy baptism. Like a big tonic water.
Yeah,
bath.
you know how they say clean your fridge. You get
imagine if you went
know,
for
a little bit of
baptism.
bicarb and vinegar.
Imagine you went to a baptism and they weren't fucking still or sparkling. So like I said, I was going around the internet, doing a bit of soul searching.
Yeah.
Trying to, because anyone who knows me knows that I have a problem with organised religion.
Yeah.
And its inherent hypocrisy.
Yeah, anyone who's made it to this episode is very aware, Mark.
So I found a website for a specific church in America. Have you heard of the Westboro Baptist Church?
I've heard of it.
Have you? Well, I'm on their website right now.
Okay.
Do you know what their website is?
What?
www.godhatesfags.com.
Oh, fuck off, man.
It's there.
That's horrendous.
Godhatesfags.com. And
I'll tell him to quit smoking.
He's fine because he looks at it positively.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
You got lung cancer. Ain't nothing a good baptism won't fix.
And so there's one of the things that got me was this. There's a sign outside the Westboro Baptist Church that says, "Do not worship Queen Elizabeth. Her path equals hell." And it's the top picture in the current events thing, like sort of little article, which I've downloaded,
right,
for us to have a little look at. So it's just sort of the Westboro Baptist Church, I don't know, newsletter, maybe. So this is the latest release. It's from the 25th of September, so it's a little bit old.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just gonna read it out. See what you think. The Lord has wrought many blessed judgments in the world this week, which can be seen plainly by any who have been given eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart to understand by the gracious hand of God. Let's view some of this week's judgments from the proper perspective.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. The idolatry parade of the death of Queen Elizabeth II came to an end this week. She was being lauded and praised for all the great things she did while alive. Why? None of those things matter now. Consider the conclusion that great King Solomon came to after he considered all the works he did in his kingdom. And then we've got a little bit of a quote from the Bible.
All right.
Then I said, Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity, and there is no remembrance for the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man as the fool?
Like,
what does that mean?
I think
I've got a degree in creative writing, and I can't tell you what that paragraph means.
You see, Mark, you've got a degree in creative writing, not creative reading.
Ah, shit.
You see, that's where you've gone wrong.
Back to uni I go.
Yeah, off you go.
So yeah, I think what he's saying is basically, it doesn't matter what you've done in life. Once you're dead, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, everyone knows that.
But didn't Jesus die?
The thing is, but yeah, what you don't understand is...
surely it doesn't matter what he did?
No.
Dead.
The thing is, it doesn't matter to the person who's died, because they're dead now.
Yeah, but no, because they're in... Well, I was going to say they're in heaven, but according to this church, every fucker's in hell, aren't
Jesus.
they?
Jesus.
Also, as well, so I don't know if you've heard, but there's a fairly big hurricane that's been battering Florida,
right? Okay,
and in other places.
We didn't cause that, did we?
No, not this time.
No, okay.
Meanwhile, the Lord sent 2 hurricanes upon the world that are still raging. And the hurricanes Fiona and Ian.
Yeah.
I know. Earlier in the week, Fiona hit the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and parts of the Turks and Caicos Islands. At the moment, it is hitting the Atlantic coast of Canada. Many in the region of Canada, it's a country.
Yeah, it is, isn't
in the region of Canada, fear that this may be Canada's version of Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah, but you're questioning what they've called Canada. But let's
so-called Canada.
Let's not.
It's definitely there.
Let's not forget that the entire article is fictional. It's all fiction, isn't it?
I often do.
It's not fact.
So, Hurricane Ian is expected to hit Florida any day, being the first hurricane to hit the state
that has a
2018.
Stupid fucking name.
I know, innit?
Fucking hell.
The Lord has wrought much damage and devastation thus far. Who will know what more the Lord will do with Fiona and Ian? Praise God! We beseech you, seek God and his help, mercy and wisdom, not man's. You've just told us that he's sent these hurricanes to kill us.
Oh, God.
Exactly. And then in massive letters, look at the bottom of the page, it says, repent or perish. So I'm sorry, but no, I've not come round.
It sounds like a new... It sounds like...
These are the people who protest outside places with signs that says God hates fags and all that shit.
I feel like repent or perish sounds like the Amish version of trick or treat. You know?
Just knock, knock, knock. Oh, hello. Repent or perish.
He goes, ooh, let me see.
And he stabs him.
Comes back with a big knife. Yeah. You sinners, you sin.
That reminds me, the greatest thing that happened to me when I was a child trick-or-treating on Halloween.
Right.
I can't remember how old. I must have been 10 or under.
Right.
And my stepdad was taking us round, and it was back in the proper days of trick-or-treating, in the 90s, where all I was wearing was a bin bag, a fake witch's nose, and some of them fake fingertips. Right. And I was going around, and we were knocking on doors. Repent or perish. Why are there the only 2 options, by the way?
Yeah. There's no
You know
third
what I mean?
option. Is there?
Why is it you can either repent your sins or be killed?
Get back to your story.
Yeah. We went knocked on this one guy's house, and it was me and my two stepsisters. And he opened the door, and we went, "Repent or perish." And he went, "Oh shit, yeah. Wait there." And he disappeared, and he came back with a can of lager for me. Sausage. It's Wiki Hard time.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Another one this week that's genuinely useful. Nothing to do with spirituality or any of that shit.
And
not horoscopes, crystals, sun water.
Yeah.
Religion, anything genuinely useful.
All right. So it's genuinely useful.
Yes.
It's not to do with crystals and sun water.
No.
I can't imagine what could be useful other than those things.
Exactly. But
So
this is why we're here.
What is it?
So earlier we mentioned obviously the Jeffrey Dahmer series.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you watch that series, there's the lady who lives next door to him who hears a lot of stuff through the vents.
Yeah.
Stuff, doesn't she? Now, in reality, that woman actually lived down the street.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh.
In real life.
Okay.
So this is a wiki how that could have helped the real life neighbours of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay.
It's how to hear through walls.
I think the issue was in the series was that she heard too much. It could have been how to ignore people through walls.
You've sort of shit all over my wiki how now.
Oh, sorry, Mark. I know you was excited about it.
No one asked for it. Right. How to hear through walls then. Wondering about that muffled conversation on the other side of your wall?
No.
Do you wonder what's being said?
No.
Whether it's on a stranger or loved one.
On a stranger?
I know, yeah. Or in your own home or elsewhere, it's probably not a good idea to spy.
Wait. Right, read that again. On a stranger?
Listen, hear the sentence out. Whether it's on a stranger or loved one, or in your own home or elsewhere, it's not a good idea to spy.
Oh, okay.
Spy
right.
on.
Okay, I was connecting it to the sentence before.
However, if you decide to go ahead and eavesdrop, there are several ways to listen through walls with a surprising amount of clarity. Just be sure that you know the law and criminal risks if you decide to act.
Oh, God. So, it's not illegal to listen on your neighbours, is it?
Using some of these methods, yeah.
Is it?
I'd say so.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Method 1, using a glass.
Okay.
Time-honoured tradition.
That's not illegal, no.
Get a glass. So you've decided to go for it.
Yeah.
How do you get started spying? This is the induction at to be 007.
Hold up. Because I was going to say, up until this point, it's not overtly said, let's spy. And now it's you're spying on people.
This is the induction to MI5. Right, this is your first day at spy school.
Spy school 101, grab your glass.
One method is a simple glass held against the wall. The reason this works is that you create an acoustic coupling between the wall and the glass, allowing sound waves to travel from one side to the other. A soda or beer glass works best. Some eavesdroppers also swear by Dixie cups, but glass seems to conduct sound better than other kinds.
What's a Dixie cup?
Like red party cups.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Experiment with different types and shapes of glasses to see which one works best for your purposes. If you have an iPhone, you can download the Amplitude Pro app and hold the iPhone to the glass against the wall. This app allows you to hear distant sounds with much more clearly, but it also records and saves the amplified noise.
This is it. So I'm busting out my iPhone 7 and my favourite S Club 7 mug. It's almost like it was a match made in heaven.
With your iPhone 7.
With my favourite S Club 7 member, Stephen 7.
They're all their names begin with
names
S.
are 7. All the names begin with an S.
So number 2, scout for the clearest spots. Look at the picture. Look at him. Look at him go. He's like Spider-Man without the charisma.
No, it's a man that's fallen and they've just turned it on its side.
So scout for the clearest spots. Some places on a wall will transmit sound more clearly than others for reasons of structure or distance from the source of the sound. Experiment to test the sound quality until you find the best place. Sometimes this can be difficult if the sound is coming from the ceiling. You have to get some ladders for that one.
That's it. Whip out the apparatus.
Tie your glass to a mop.
Yeah. put the end of the handle of the mop into your ear.
So place the rim of the glass against the wall. Remember, in order for it to work, you have to couple the wall and glass acoustically. Do this by placing the glass flat, rim down.
Well,
we're adult men.
Look, Mark, look. It's important that you put the rim against the wall because otherwise the neighbours will hear really loudly your thoughts.
They just sat there having a conversation and all of a sudden they could just what if your fingernails started further up your fingers?
What if am I horny or am I just sad?
Oh, I wonder if that beam will take my weight. Right. Do this by placing the glass flat, rim down against the wall. Now sound waves will go from the wall into the glass and make it easier for you to detect them. Oh, there they are. Once the glass is in place, put your ear to the bottom of the glass. Continue to move the glass on the wall if you can't hear well.
Yeah, all right. I'm buying this.
This one may be slightly illegal.
Okay.
Method 2 of 4. Using a hole.
I'm imagining comically they're sat there just living their life in the living room, right? As you do, that's where you live.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden
the living room.
They hear drilling, a hole appears in the wall, and then comically an eye is just twitching around, looking through.
See, I had a different image. Like, you know how some people have like the heads of animals on their wall?
Mm.
What you do is you make a massive hole in the wall,
Yeah.
put a plaque on the other side and pop your head through. So it looks like that they've previously hunted you. Right, so step 1, drill a tiny hole. Another way to hear through a wall is with a hole and a plastic membrane, a method recently discovered by scientists in Japan and South Korea, you know, when they're taking time off eating the fish. First, drill a very small hole all the way through the wall.
Oh my God.
A power drill with a small long bit will work best to do this. Don't expect to hear too much through the hole alone. In fact, a plain hole in the wall seriously hinders sound transmission. Try to pick a time when your neighbour is out to drill through the wall. Otherwise, they may well notice the sound or debris from the drilling.
Exactly what I thought. Can you imagine?
So cover the hole with a thin membrane. This is what should make the method work really well. Studies show that when you cover the hole with a thin membrane, on one side, the transmission becomes almost as if there is no wall, because the membrane equalizes the pressure on both sides of the hole and funnels sound through. Try using a common household item, namely plastic wrap. In fact, the scientists who conducted the initial study used plastic wrap themselves. Step 3, listen away.
Why am I considering this?
No. Once you have your hole and your plastic wrap in place, listen away. If executed properly, like you should be if you do this, you should be able to hear what is happening in the opposite room quite clearly. For even better results, try this method in conjunction with the first. Put a glass over the top of the hole in the plastic membrane. Be aware that drilling a hole in the wall has very clear disadvantages, especially as regards secrecy. Your neighbour might hear the drilling. She might see the hole.
Oh my God.
Or she might notice the drill debris on the floor and become suspicious.
Men are fucking disgusting. Because the person who's written this is giving it away now.
Yeah.
They want to hear the woman next door.
Or masturbating.
Oh, God.
Method 3. Use a spy stethoscope.
Oh, God. Okay, this doesn't sound legal either.
Number 1. Collect your materials. We're now getting into the more sophisticated listening equipment.
What? More sophisticated than a hole in a plastic membrane? I didn't think we could get more sophisticated, Mark.
All in some cling film. Why can't I wrap my sandwich for my lunch? Sorry, I'm listening to the neighbour's bone.
Yeah, you walk in with your homemade fucking glass earmuffs. Fucking hell.
You can either make a listening stethoscope or on your own or buy one. Pre-made models will save you time, but can cost several $100s. Of course, it's American.
Can they?
Apparently.
Because I'm not being funny. Look, if you're going to make it out of your own materials, like anything you can make out of your own materials can't cost that much.
Cost that much, yeah.
Because, like, look, tellies, they cost quite a bit because you can't just fumble together one from stuff you have in your kitchen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You expect to pay a certain amount for a quality object.
I'd love to make stuff from my kitchen, telly from my kitchen.
Yeah, can you imagine this? It turns out all you need to make a laptop is about 63 ice cubes, a pane of glass.
I just loved it when you said all you need to make a laptop. You moved out of the way of the microphone to look at your laptop.
Yeah.
as if to say, what could that possibly be made of?
Well, I was looking and I was like, how could we make the keys? And just, you know.
Do you think there's 63 keys in your keyboard?
I don't know how many keys. I'm looking at them now. There's quite a lot.
I don't think there's 63. There's only 7 letters.
Fuck off.
Right, so, unlike a pre-made model, however, making your own stethoscope will probably cost around or under $25.
So therefore,
provided that you already have a fairly good MP3 player, which no one does.
Wait, okay. Right, what were you imagining when you thought about a spy stethoscope? Because I did not imagine...
Like a doctor's stethoscope.
Yeah, I was just thinking it was just one of them. I was like, that doesn't cost a few $100, surely.
Sure, I think all they've done is got an MP3 player and like downloaded a track called Muffled Neighbours.
Yeah, Muffled Neighbours through plastic membrane.
When good muffled neighbours
behind the plastic membrane become good
muffled friends. So you can typically find a stethoscope at your local drugstore for about $10. The quality of the stethoscope is unlikely to make much of a difference. Sorry. What?
So why are we paying a few $100 for one?
Yeah.
Because I've ordered one.
You will also need microphones.
Wow.
Stereo multimedia microphones are preferable as they are cheap, around $15.
Mm-hmm.
But have fairly good sound specifications. That is, you should be able to pick up sound with them pretty easily and with fair quality. Finally, you will need to have an MP3 player to record sound, as well as a 3.5mm stereo Y adapter cable. This is detailed, isn't it?
It's getting costly.
It is. The cable will be quite cheap, about $3 or $4.
Oh, good.
The MP3 player will be the most expensive item if you do not already own one. Keep in mind that it must be able to record, which probably means that you will need a newer model. Many of the older ones do not record, but only play music. Number 2, disassemble the microphones. You will need to cut down the middle of the microphones in order to get to the wiring. Remove the
Mark,
tops.
why are we going so far into this?
Because you need to know.
This feels
remove
excess
the tops
to what
or
we...
headers
right.
and release the microphones. You will then insert the exposed microphones into the stethoscope earpieces. Or a good tool for doing this is an X-Acto knife. It will make...
Sorry, go gadget X-Acto knife.
It will make a clean... Knife? It's just like a hobby knife, like a one of them scalpel hobby knives. That's what Americans call them.
What the fuck?
It will make a clean cut through the outer parts of the microphone, and you should be able to get to the innards. You should be left with 2 mics and a 3.5mm connectors. Disassemble and reassemble the stethoscope earpieces. Remove the earpieces from the stethoscope. This is fairly easy, as they should pop right off. Don't get rid of them, however, as you'll need to attach them to the microphones.
Can I just say, whoever wrote this is a fucking professional perv. Because fucking Jesus.
I know.
Why?
I know, innit? Just watch porn.
Or do you reckon he wrote this because he was a scorned employee from the fucking neighbour perving equipment company?
The neighbour.
Yeah. They've sacked him and he's gone, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring down the industry. And I'm going to do it through WikiHow.
Perving equipment company.
What's that?
I'm going to give everyone the secret of how to do it without paying.
It's the NPEC. You know, everyone's heard of that.
NPEC? Isn't that like the conference centre in Birmingham? Hook the stethoscope to the MP3 player. Last, attach the stethoscope and microphones to the MP3 player. Use the Y adapter cable to connect the microphones to the MP3 player. The sound that you pick up through the wall will now be collected and amplified by the microphones, transmitted to the MP3 player, and recorded or saved. Plug the single stereo connector into an MP3 player. Your spy stethoscope should be ready to go now.
I've got a better plan, if I'm honest, Mark. Right, so what you do, you knock on the door, and you go, right, I heard through the hole that I've drilled in the wall that you need to borrow some sugar. Right?
You see through the hole.
Yeah,
I've heard through the grapevine.
Yeah, I've heard through my plastic membrane that you needed some sugar.
Through my plastic
so you go around with a bag of sugar, but you've put a spy listening device into the bottom, preferably one that you've bought, not one that you've made yourself. We need to guarantee quality,
obviously, and we don't want to be really putting all these people out of a job.
Yeah, and then you just
times are hard.
The thing is, the recording thing's just a decoy, anyway. You just want them to forget about the fact that you've drilled into the wall.
But they wouldn't know if you hadn't told them.
Yeah, but by the time they get down to the bottom of the sugar, they're too occupied with the recording device that's in there.
Yeah, but it takes a long time to get through a full bag of sugar, Dan.
They'll be thinking about it the whole time. They'll be thinking
By which point they've plugged the hole.
Well, you've already tipped them off. They've got bigger things on the mind, mate.
Than what? The fact that their neighbours have drilled a hole through the fucking wall?
It just so happens that it coincides with the great sugar shortage of 2023.
the next big disaster.
Everyone's going to be so depressed.
Right. Do you want to know method 4 of 4?
Go on.
Knowing the consequences of spying. 1. Ask yourself, do you really want or need to spy?
It's gone from like a lighthearted, spy on your neighbours, to an intervention. Like the last step, you're like, what could be even better than a stethoscope? And it's like, no, mate, this is an intervention. Intervention. Jesus.
What could be better than the homemade stethoscope method? Not doing it.
Yeah. Pack it in. You've been rumbled.
So by listening through a wall, you are about to spy on another person and violate private conversations. This raises big legal and ethical problems. Before acting, seriously ask yourself if you want to do it. Is it worth the risk? The situation is important. In England, for instance, a man rescued his elderly neighbour from a robbery by listening through the wall with a glass. In his situation, spying was definitely justified.
Yeah, but look, you can't just sit around and go, well, I'm waiting for something to go wrong.
But I'm sure in that situation there was muffled shouting. or something,
okay,
and then he thought,
enough.
"What's that?" He's not just sat there waiting for a robbery.
They go round and there's about 16 microphones glued to the wall. He was just waiting, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, he just when you say 16 microphones glued to the wall, for some reason I imagine like just glasses glued all around the room, just in case.
There's a few on the other wall, and that's his room on the other side, just in case someone gets in. He can spy on them,
spying on his own bedroom.
Yeah,
right. So that was justified.
Right.
But then you need to ask yourself, was he listening anyway?
Yeah, he definitely was.
Or did he hear the muffles of robbery?
I mean, I was just about to say this isn't information or something that most people think to do, but we're putting this information out there. It's
an important service.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're probably responsible for 50%, not 50%.
That's a high number.
I mean, that's a lot of people listening, isn't it? But there's not that many.
Do you think people listen to this podcast through a glass?
I reckon one of their neighbours has got our podcast on.
that's definitely a reason to listen through the wall.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, please listen on a separate thing so we get more statistics.
Yeah, but they can't afford Spotify, mate, because you can't get it on an old school MP3 player.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing, Dan. The Dark Broadcast isn't just on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's on iTunes. It's on Podbean.
Yeah, come into a listening membrane near you.
You fucking arsehole. See, I'm drilling holes in my neighbour's walls, not to listen, but to play the podcast through.
You put the glass the wrong way.
Right, so things are really so clear-cut, however. You should probably not act if you have any doubts about the situation. If you decide to go ahead, make sure that you know the possible consequences of your actions. Number 2, beware of eavesdropping laws. Eavesdropping means to overhear, record, magnify, or transmit any part of a conversation without the consent of at least one person involved. Be aware that states have laws against eavesdropping. By spying, you may well be breaking the law. You might even be violating the law by possessing a device for spying.
They can't prove. They can't prove shit.
I was going to say, is there an end to that sentence? Like, they can't prove this dough to be risen to make bread.
Yeah.
So consider all the negative consequences. What happens if you eavesdrop and someone finds out? What could happen to you? This is a good question, and you should consider all of the possible outcomes, which in many cases are severe.
I love that they pose the question, but they don't give you like a specific answer. Like, this is a good question.
In Michigan,
congrats to me.
Well done.
Yeah,
me.
well done.
So in Michigan, the penalties for illegal eavesdropping are up to 2 years in prison, up to $2,000 in fines, or both. In California, eavesdropping is either a misdemeanor or felony. Which one is it?
Yeah.
As a misdemeanor, you face up to 364 days in jail.
Right.
So just a day under a year.
Wow.
Why?
Why not just round it up? I don't think the prisoner's going to mind.
That would really piss me off. I'd rather have the year.
Yeah.
And the $2,500 fine. As a felony, you could spend up to 3 years in prison and a $2,500 fine.
Fuck.
Of course, a criminal penalty is not the only bad outcome. You could also open yourself to a civil lawsuit for violating someone's privacy, which could be costly and run into the thousands of dollars. Even if you escape legal consequences, you could have a very angry person on your hands. See, I was enjoying that WikiHow until it got to the consequences.
Yeah.
I think we should all be listening to each other. At all times.
I do kind of hate the fact that someone's listening, but I hope they got the recordings of some of the monstrous farts I've done.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as well, because we cut a lot out of this podcast.
Yeah.
What if someone's recording that?
Oh my God.
They'll have so much to blackmail us with.
Someone will have the lost Dark Ball tapes.
Lost Dark Ball tapes.
Maybe one day when the kind of political correctness climates calm down a bit.
I thought it was going to say maybe one day when the people who actually broadcast this podcast listen to it and we're thrown in jail.
I mean, we haven't said anything that bad, have we? And I've checked all the walls. There's no ominous holes.
I know, but there's a lot of glasses glued to it, mate.
Yeah. Look, they were there when I moved in.
It's like a padded cell, but with glass. So there you go. Are you going to be listening to your Neighbours anytime soon? I mean, all you're going to hear if you drill through your wall is the rattling of barley sugars and the sewing of badges.
Mate, the question is, am I going to stop listening to my Neighbours? Oh, thank God we're finished. I've got some spying to be doing.
I know, yeah. So thank you for everyone listening, whether you're listening through earphones, a speaker, or through a wall.
Yeah. Go and invade your neighbour's privacy.
Fuck them.
Yeah, let's do it. And always remember,
no one asked for it.
No one needed it.
But this was it.
It was the Dark Podcast.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.